Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, partnering with donors from all walks of life to improve southeastern Virginia through grants, scholarships, and leadership initiatives. Learn more at hamptonroadscf.org.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Hamley. We started Another View with a mission to show the greater community another view of the African American community, and the African American community another view of itself. Today's show is a perfect example. At a time when Black men are vilified as lazy, unproductive, and dangerous, we're sharing another view. A Black male entrepreneur, radio host, and philanthropist. And guess what? He's only 30 years old. Meet Arrington Gavin next on Another View, right after this national, regional, and local news from NPR and WHRO News.
Discussing today's topics from an African American perspective, this is Another View.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Hamley. Before we get started with our conversation today, I always like to tell you about some things happening in the community. And I want to invite you all to, as you celebrate Black History Month, to check out Ballet Virginia. Let me tell you, they are just an awesome performing group, and they are going to have shows on February the 18th at the Attics and February 20 and 21st at Zyder's American Dream Theater. The programming is called Heart and Soul, and it's going to feature music by African-American pianist Ahmad Jamal, as well as the dance piece A Seed of Faith, which brings to life a vibrant African-American gospel culture. It is a phenomenal performance, and please go out and support them. You can find out more at balletvirginia.org. That's balletvirginia.org. And don't forget, tomorrow is Wear Red Day to bring attention to heart disease, particularly for women. Heart disease is the number one killer of women, and African Americans are disproportionately affected by heart disease. So they're doing every first Friday of the month. Friday, February 6th is National Wear Red Day, and this is just to bring attention to things that you can do to make your heart healthy. Dr. Keith Newby talks about that all the time. So if you want to go find out more, you can go to goredforwomen.org, and they've got plenty of information there for you. Also want to welcome Kayla Usen. She's a sophomore at Norfolk State University. I know, behold. And she is shadowing the Another View production team today. So welcome, Kayla. We hope you enjoy it and hope you learn lots. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it. So by the time he was 14 years old, our guest today had a full beard and an issue. As a student in a private school, he had to be clean-shaven, which led to irritated skin. Once he got to college, the beard came back, but it needed to be groomed. So what did he do? He started his own beard care and grooming company, just one of many accomplishments for this 30-year-old entrepreneur, talk show host, and philanthropist. I'm so excited to welcome to Another View, Mr. Arrington Gavin. Hey, Arrington.
Hey, Barbara. Look, thank you so much for having me. Before I wanted to start off by just saying, you are a true treasure here in the area. And I really mean that. You know how much I adore you. I adore this show. And it's just an honor to be a guest here on this program that I tune in on a regular basis. So, again, I just want to thank you for having me.
I'm curious, and I appreciate that. I'm curious, do you find it easier to be on that side of the table or on the side of the table that I'm sitting on, which is asking the questions as opposed to answering them?
It's definitely easier being in your seat. And not saying your job, but I'm just saying it's easier being, the person asking the question rather than answering, because it's like, I don't know. It's just it always goes differently. So yeah, this is a little nervous, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm kind of fanboying out right now.
Absolutely. So let's go back to 14 years old. Mm-hmm. First of all, 14 is kind of young to have a full beard.
A lot of people thought that too. I started growing facial hair at the age of 14. Again, not knowing at all how to maintain, how to control. Now, all through my life, through elementary school all the way really to college, I attended private school. Mm-hmm. And so at the time when I was 14, I started growing facial hair. My school had a no facial hair policy. So, good for me. I had to make sure I take care of that. And I'm like, well, I can't do the whole dry shave thing. It's just my skin is different compared, because I was the minority in my class. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, it's a little different compared to my classmates. So eventually they allowed just a little bit, but not too full. And by the time I graduated, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna grow out my facial hair. Once I'm in college, I'm just gonna embrace it. And that's what I did my freshman year. I started growing out my facial hair, but never had the understanding of proper, facial hair care maintenance. No one talked to me. I didn't have a lot of beards in my family at the time. I mean, my dad had one. I was going to ask you,
was that hereditary?
My dad had a full beard. My brother had a full beard. But I never, they never kept it like long. I mean, they kept it very, very close. So I've never had the experience of like, okay, how do I know how to groom this and stuff like that? So, my whole freshman year, I'm thinking I'm looking cute, not knowing I was looking tore up from the people handing me change like, do you need some help? No, I'm a student here. What are you talking about? So I said, Aaron, you got to get it together, because appearance was always a big deal for me. And my sophomore year in college, I started to, buy all the products, thinking I'm like, as a clueless person, I'm just saying, oh, this is going to work, that going to work. And it didn't. And not having a job, I'm using all my allowance money while I'm in college, broke, okay, college student, no job. And I said, you know what? I'm not getting I'm not getting something from here. So I just created my own. I started doing my own research on essential oils, all natural product, hair care, and I just put it to paper. And then weekends I would go home, visit my folks, and I'll be in the kitchen whipping up ingredients. And from there, I said, well, look, I bought the containers. I said, okay, got a little thing happening here. My extras that I had, I gave it to my friends who are also kind of new in the facial hair community. So those are like my reviewers, so I tested out and received great reviews. And I'm like, I kept it in mind from there. And I've always had kind of an entrepreneurship spirit through my parents. I just never knew where it was going to lead me to. So once I got the go ahead from my friends, say, oh, this is pretty dope. And I'm like, okay. So went walking around campus, I saw different facial hair types, whether it was goatees, mustache, long beards. I said, it might be a market, but I want to be careful. And the funny thing is, I was watching the Golden Globes, and 90% of the male presenters had beards, but one. So I said, is this a movement? Is this a movement, or is this a trend? And I said, I think it's pushing to a movement. And that's when I started working on my business plan.
And so you went from making it yourself to, I assume, getting someone to manufacture.
So I still make my products. I have I work with a manufacturer for certain products where, like, I provide the ingredients, but if I don't have the machinery, then I'll say, okay, look, give it to them, and they'll fix it and put it together for me. But yeah, I still make my some of my products.
Wow! So tell us the name of the company.
The name of the company is Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged Evolution. We always say you start off with something rugged, but after using our products, you see it evolve into something smooth. So like our motto is rugged is the new smooth, because we want to share with the fellas out there, you can still be a man of distinction while rocking a well-groomed beard, whether if you're a labor worker or work in corporate America, because at one point, corporate America was not accepting facial hair. I was going to
ask you, is that different now?
It still is a thing, but it's continuing to go away, because with the help of like the Crown Act was a huge help. In addition to that, COVID, you had a lot of men embracing their beards during COVID, and then they're like, my wife likes it, or I'm getting great compliments. So how do I continue to maintain this? So that's where we came into play. And then in addition to that, it was something new. We live in a military area here in Hampton Roads, so once a lot of folks retire, they're like, hey, look, I can embrace my beard. So it was a lot of key pieces, but I think that corporate America is still. They still kind of look at beards differently, just as, I'm assuming folks, with hair textures, they're like, they're judging a book by its cover.
It's interesting because when we talk about the Crown Act, most of the time, it's women talking about the discrimination that they face in the workplace in terms of braids and dreads and so forth. But I really hadn't thought about it. It also benefiting males and facial hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you push so many high accomplished qualified individuals because of the way their hairstyle or texture. But I'm like, but that's not the case. It's always about the work, the merit. Are they meeting qualifications? So I say the same thing when it comes to facial hair. I'm like, why not? Because remember, I went to private school where facial hair was prohibited. So it was prohibited for a reason, because they were kind of pushing us to say, when you leave out into the real world, facial hair is not accepted. So.
So is Rugged Evolution a brick and mortar, or is it online, or is it both?
It is. So started online. So I started working on my business plan my sophomore year in college. Fast forward, once I graduated in May of 2017, August of 2017, we started to attend small vending shows just so I can get my feet wet. Because funny thing is, I'm very shy.
Get out of here.
I am. I don't like public speaking. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't want to do it. So I had to get comfortable in, if I wanted to make money off my product, I had to show the confidence of like, hey, this is a great product to consumers. So August 2017, we launched. November, we started online. So we're mostly online, but I do have a brick and mortar. I have an office and warehouse in Chesapeake. And we opened that, I want to say the pandemic year or a little later. I used to do one-on-one consultations at first, and then we kind of opened up and we fixed it up very, very nice.
What's the biggest mistake that men, particularly black men, make in terms of taking care of their skin and their beard?
Buying a product that is strictly for your scalp, applying it on your face, because I have a lot of fellas that will say, I just put some of this Head and Shoulders on my face. I'm like, and nothing against Head and Shoulders, but the scalp skin is a lot different than your face skin is. So you have certain additives that is strictly for the scalp because it's tougher skin. So if you apply it on your face, it causes hair breakage. You can irritate the skin. You can almost kind of, burn the hair off your face. So that's kind of like the one bad thing. Also, not everything that has moisturized should be on the face. So please, fellas, don't put no petroleum jelly on the face. Okay, no lotion, no cocoa butter. It's just, that's always kind of like the little,
That's the thing that they need to know. And because I think that a lot of people who are non-African American don't understand, especially with the shaving piece, because black skin can break out
and we have so many hair textures too, because like for me, I have very coarse hair. You have soft hair. You have very curly hair. I mean, it's always different, because it's sometimes not a matter on the race piece, but it's just the hair texture, because you could be a white male and have the same texture as my hair texture as my face. So it all varies. It all varies.
Okay, so you go from Rugged Evolution, you got this hair care thing going on, beard care, and then you start a nonprofit.
So yes. So with all the work we've continued to do with Rugged Evolution, which is continue to grow Rugged Evolution Beard Care, I always had a service heart. I mean, that's one thing my folks always taught me is be a blessing to others the way you were blessed. And I always share my story. I was raised a very, very blessed kid. Never knew what, being broke was or hard times was. My parents always, I lived a great life. And so my folks said, just remember, there's other folks that don't have the blessing that you have. And sure enough, I used to, and I still do, I would do service trips overseas, local community service work, and I'm interacting with these families. I'm like, what can I do to help? And that's where Rugged Evolution, the Rugged Evolution Foundation came into play. We really want to focus on the youth here in Hampton Roads, because we know it starts from young all the way up. So we invest in tomorrow's future.
And what do you do? We
started off. We have our large thing is our back to school giveaway. So we started that in 2019. And we start off with a goal to give out 250 backpacks filled with school supplies. So what I did, I bought the backpacks and I challenged the community to donate. And we ended up exceeding that goal. I think we were at the Cuffy Center that year. We exceeded like around 355. In addition to just giving out the supplies, we provided free haircuts, free face painting, popcorn, soap, fun and games. I mean, just something to
bring the community together.
to assist those in the Hampton Roads area. And I think as of right now, we've given out to over 1,500 families in the Hampton Roads area with our nonprofit, and we continue to build and expand. We partner with our local sheriff department. They do Identi-Kids every year at our back to school. We've done we've given out shoes. We give out shoes, coats as well. We had a toy and coat drive last holiday season, and yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I'm trying to name it, think of it off the top of the dome right now.
757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. Have you met Arrington Gavin? Are you curious about his business plan, about being an entrepreneur, about his philanthropic work? Give us a call and let's chat. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Okay, so you got the philanthropic end. You have Rugged Evolution beer products. Now you've started something called Evolve Imagery.
Yes, so that is my newest baby. Last November we opened up. Evolve Imagery is a one-stop shop media workspace. We offer a workspace for photographers, videographers, as well as content creators. So we have it's about 800 square foot of space where we have a podcast room already set up with equipment there if need be. You have your settings for your local photographers. I come across a lot of photographers that don't have a place of their own, and I'm like, well, look, at a very affordable rate, I'm like, look, come here, rent out the space. You have the whole space to yourself, and that's what it is, because we have so many great content creators in the Hampton Roads area. Like, folks don't understand, we have tons and tons, and when I mean content, what if that's folks that are vloggers, podcasters, photographers, local film, indie film directors. We have so many talented folks here. So this is just another place to be assisted to help, build your dream.
And it's in Chesapeake. Where is it in Chesapeake?
It's in Chesapeake, Virginia, off of Live Oak Drive. So not too far from where the Chesapeake Conference Center is.
So you really try to keep your businesses at home.
I'm a Chesapeake guy. I love my city. What can I say? I love my city.
Shout out to Chesapeake.
Shout out to
right?
Chesapeake.
Absolutely. All right. So Arrington, 30 years old. You got all these businesses, and you do a radio show Monday through Friday.
I do.
When do you sleep?
So, and my wife will vouch. I'm bad at that. I go to bed late. I get up very early. The show is, I love doing it. For one, I consider myself like a conversationalist. I love conversation. Fun fact, my first love when I was visiting different universities, I wanted to become a mass comm major. I wanted to pursue radio broadcast. I've always loved radio, talk radio, and it was weird because I was just like this young kid. I want to listen to some talk radio programs, whether if it's anybody. I mean, I loved listening to like Larry King. I loved listening to Tavis Smiley. I was always in awe of just conversations. And so, I started working in podcasting in 2020 during the pandemic. Started doing a program with my friends at the time, and that we did that for maybe almost like 5 seasons. We did like 10 episodes a season, so we did about 5 seasons. And then I said, well, let me try and test the waters and do my own thing, because I'm like, hey, I never know when the opportunity comes. Let me practice. And I started doing just maybe, I think, once a week, 30 minutes. And then after that, I'm like, oh, I got some more to say. And then it opened to an hour weekly. And then I said, well, let me try doing 3 days a week. And then from there, it just went to 5 days. And for 1 hour. Yep.
Wow. And you are on the radio in New Orleans and in Atlanta.
New Orleans, right? Atlanta, and I just announced on my program we are going to be heard on a station out in Las Vegas as well. So we just hit that's our third radio station that got picked up. So. And
you're on YouTube.
Yes, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts as well. And I'm working with the local group, Goat First TV. They're an independent network, so I'm on the app on Roku TV, Amazon. Yep.
And any place you go for your podcast also. So you're there all the time. So I was listening to a couple of your shows in preparation for today, and one thing I noticed that you do that I don't do is that you have some shows where you literally talk for an hour with no guests.
Yep.
You're pulling headlines, you're giving opinion. First of all, what made you say, you know what, it's okay, my opinion, somebody wants to hear my opinion?
It's funny because I always have that mindset. I could care less what other people think. Not trying to sound rude, but it's just like you have to because being nervous, because I told you I cannot stand public speaking. When I was in college and I had speech classes,
You're doing public speaking right now.
Look, I'm telling you, it was the worst. And because I always used to think of what other people would think, so I just said, I said, Lord, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to whoever's tuning in. I'm going to talk to my friends, and we're just going to go over some of the, recent headlines that have happened across the digital space, whether if it's in politics, sports, pop culture, and I'm just gonna talk like if I'm talking at the cookout, just sharing my opinion on it. I'll read it, share it with you all, and then I will give kind of like two perspectives. And that's the mindset I just kept on having. And it's funny because my family always says, "Who that boy loves to talk? He a long-winded person." And since my wife like I don't want to hear it, okay, I know somebody else. And, let me start recording, and that's what I do. And it's a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed it, and each and every episode for me is practice because again, I didn't have the opportunity to major in mass comm, and it's never too late. But I'm always continue to say, okay, look, Arrington, talk a little slower this time because I'll listen to some of my episodes too. It's hard to listen to yourself talk. By the way, it's very hard.
I agree with you there.
That's one of the hardest things. But I'm always just saying, okay, what can I do better? How's my what verbiage how can I change it up? Do I repeat? Do I use a lot of ums or So I'm always trying to I say it right now. I'm always trying to change it up each and every episode. So,
do you have a favorite episode?
What was the one when I had interviewed a lady by the name of Barbara Ham Lee? That was my favorite one right there. No, but yes, really,
I enjoyed our time.
That was truly a huge treat for me. Man, a favorite one. I think honestly, all of them are great. But when I continue to build up the guests, so like for example, I had the opportunity to interview Lieutenant Governor Gonzalo Hashmi first as a candidate, and then I interviewed her again after she had won. That was a big moment for me, just because at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, Arrington, this is a big deal. Your guest lineup is growing, and I've had guests not even here in the area from out of state. I had the opportunity to interview a former state party chair from Tennessee. I've interviewed former NBA stars, former pro athletes, entertainers. That's a really tough one because we're over 500 episodes now. So
and then you're on Monday through Friday. So yes. For an hour at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, yep.
Right? Okay. And do you have a staff? Is it just you putting all this together?
When I say it is grassroots, it is very grassroots. I'm talking. My hands are dirty in the grass. It is just me. I will go over kind of like what I'm going to discuss, what I'm going to share beforehand, I'll just go on from there. And sometimes I don't take too many notes because I want the recording to be very organic. So if I jot down a headline, I will pull a few pieces and put like kind of bullet notes, but I really want to kind of share my thoughts, live. So yeah, it's just me.
And are you doing the technical piece too?
Yes.
So you're doing it all.
Yes. Now I use there's thank God there's certain softwares that are user friendly for folks that are not good at editing. Hello. And so I use a software that kind of records and does all that for me. But when it comes to creating promo flyers, because you have to be a part of the marketing side to market those episodes and to promote and be tuned. I mean, it's a lot, but I have fun doing it.
And on top of that, you also have advertisers.
Yes.
So somebody's got to go out and find the advertisers. So you're doing that too?
It's a lot, but you know
Wow.
what? I have a great time doing it because being a business owner, I interact with so many people, and I'm just like, wow, you have great stories. I never heard it, so I would love to have you on. And it can be, whether they just started their business yesterday or whether they had their business 20 years ago and still are. And I have folks from all sides. No one is too important. No one's too, unimportant. I mean, the conversation is open for everybody because a story can go a long way.
Wow. So have you ever been on the air and say you gotten 40 minutes in or so and there's no guest, it's just you, and you go, okay, now what am I going to talk about?
Yes, I have. And so what my trick is, I will overload with a lot of stories. So I might say initially I might have said, let me just get 3 stories in. And then if I already said them, I'm like, oh, so I'll have at least about 8. Just in case if there's a case that happens, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and pick the. But I'm going to tell you something funny. I've had guests who were very not social. Now that is hard when I don't have no. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
I can attest to that. That is very,
Barbara,
very difficult.
let me tell you something. Now you talking about trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat. I'm like, let me start tap dancing a little bit or something. But it's all added practice for me because I know, okay, it's good that this happened now because now I'm aware of it happening in the future if that need be.
So do you pre-interview your guests by any chance? I don't even know how you would have time to do that, but I was just curious.
Yeah, I honestly no. I'll have conversations through email, but okay. I'll usually talk with them.
But you
maybe
just
like
wait until
I'll talk with them 5-10 minutes before we go live, and I just up to speed with them. And I think the part that lowers their makes it more comfortable is I pre-record. I don't go live. I'm always wrestling to do live, but we pre-record our show, so that kind of takes a little.
So I will ask you this on the other side. If you're just joining us, we're talking with entrepreneur, talk show host, and philanthropist Arrington Gavin. Give us a call, 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Pick his brain about becoming an entrepreneur, about what it takes in order to run a business in today's time. Give us a call, 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. And I want to thank you for your promotion of today's show, because I know there are folks out there listening.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, when they heard I'm on another view with Barbara, everybody said, wait a minute, Barbara Hamley? I said, yep, that's
okay,
Barbara.
then pick up the phone and let's have a conversation. But back to the question, in terms of the work, if you don't I understand the not pre-interviewing, but how do you do your research?
So it can be from I'm just browsing through social media, and really I used to be the nervous person to say, let me direct message them through social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, and I'll just reach out. Sometimes I'll just send an email out. I'll have folks that will refer. They'll say, "Hey, look, this is a good person." So I've had that option. And sometimes I kind of do the hunting myself. Like I'm just, this is an interesting story. Like whether I'm reading on the Virginia pilot, and I'm like, well, that's an interesting conversation. I want to extend that because sometimes you might just get a good 5-minute, info about it. But I hunt when it's and then. I speak on politics, and when it's election season in different states, I start reading local papers from their state, and like, okay, who are these candidates? Who is this? Who is that? And it just happened.
Do you feel pressure because you're on across the country to always make your conversation on a national level, or are you comfortable also with talking about what's happening here in Hampton Roads?
I'm comfortable. I talk local, national. I'm always comfortable. No, now national can be a little complicated-ish because when I first joined WBOK 12:30 a.m. out in New Orleans, I was that person where, well, I'm gonna have to incorporate some New Orleans news because I'm on their station. I don't want them to hear too much of just national or hear something that's happened in Chesapeake or Virginia Beach. So what I did, I reached out to elected leaders in New Orleans or business owners in New Orleans. So it can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes, but usually I'm just like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I know what to do. So I try not to overthink, because I overthink a lot. So I try not to like overthink too much on stuff.
What's your next goal for your show?
I mean, to get it more syndicated, really. I'm a huge fan of I love the Sirius XM platform, but really for my goal to continue for the show is continue to grow in listenerships where to the point I can bring in a staff where I can, because really I own my own show. So I would prefer to, build it from there and just see where that takes me. But right now the momentum is a little slow, but we've been very fortunate. We have a lot of views just on our YouTube alone. We're growing in subscribers. We usually gain about 5 subscribers on a daily basis, which is pretty good, but it's very hard to build up YouTube subscribers compared to all these other platforms that's in the millions and stuff. And it's hard to do it when you're not a name recognizable person because you're competing with, well-known individuals. So I would just say to hopefully continue to grow the platform. It can acknowledge from a station or whether it's local or national, and see where it takes me from there.
So, Arrington, you take advantage of the fact that in today's digital world, you're everywhere on that digital platform. If you think back, if you were a little older and you had to just rely on broadcast, it would be a very different experience, do you think? Do you think it would be harder, or is this easier because you have so many different options?
I think it will be harder only because the larger broadcast piece is like you're there. It doesn't get any bigger than that. So it's like, why rely on social media? And that's sometimes in the conversation because you see it now where a lot of well-known broadcasters have been in the on the national level for years. And they're going independent. They're going local, and it's a huge shift. And they always said this is a huge risk I'm taking, and that's because broadcast I feel like has the caviar, has the this or that, and then like sometimes the digital has the crackers, and not the good saltine ones either. Like so it can be a difficult adjustment. So I would say yes. If I was in broadcast, it would probably be a hesitation, but I would still pursue it just because I'm looking at momentum. I'm looking at what are young faces or young voices, and what are they into. And we see it now. I mean, every certain publications have some form of like a streaming platform because they see that it's growth in that avenue. So I would say yeah.
So you cover politics quite a bit on your show. What are young people telling you about how they're feeling about what's happening today?
They're just frustrated. I mean, a lot of them are frustrated. A lot of them feel.
Actually, I'm happy to hear you say that. Only because I was worried that they weren't paying attention.
It's not that they don't pay attention. It's that if they continue to see the same old narrative, they're like, why waste my time? So they're frustrated, but they also feel what's the word I'm looking for? Promises have been met in the past, or excuse me, promises they're promises that they're supposed to be doing, but it's never been met. That's what I'm saying. They've always made promises that's never been met, and so that's where they just like, I'm done. I'm tired. But my goal with through my show is to inform young people, because I did a segment a while back where I literally shared every political position starting on a local level, and I shared the meaning for it. So because a lot of people don't know the difference between commissioner of revenue and city treasurer. A lot of people don't know the circuit court clerk. And this is so I'm literally pinpoint, because we all can pay attention to what's happening in Washington. But I'm like, look, it's a trickle-down effect. What happens in Washington can affect you on a state level and then trickles down on a local level. So I just want to, make it informative. And I've been fortunate to have elected officials and voices from all sides of the aisle, because I kind of align myself in the middle. I'm very, bipartisan. I welcome folks from Republican chairs to Democratic chairs on a regular. And I consider them friends, because I'm like, look, let's sit down, have the conversation, and inform folks, let them hear from different perspectives.
So who is your audience?
Ages, I would say 29 to 34, and then I have an audience of like, I'm gonna say 55 to 65, so around that age bracket.
Okay, and men, women, race, all races,
that's a good
everything.
One. I would say all races. Now, I would say mostly men, but I could be lying. I could be lying. I take it back. I'll say mostly women, men, but it always varies because, talking about politics, of course, on social media, you have your folks that leave comments, and I'll have a lot of males leave comments, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, and it always depends too on the guest that I have or the discussion topic that I'm talking about. But I would say mostly women, and around that age bracket. I'm not too sure on the race yet.
Who is your who would be the biggest get for you? Like it's like I have hit the pinnacle if I could interview.
Ooh, that's hard. That's hard. That's a good one. I would say, wow. Man, that is a tough one. I might say Oprah. I don't know. It's just growing up, when I was hanging with my grandmother, it was either two things on the TV. It was her soaps, whether it's All My Children's, General Hospital, or Oprah. And then, I've always enjoyed just for one, her voice alone. It's like you're just, you're already glued, and just having a conversation. I think I will be very in awe because she has done almost every level in media to now. Yeah. So it will be interesting to hear her from there.
I was her producer in Baltimore.
which in my mind, that was another great highlight and a great surprise when I had you on my show, Bartleby Bro. I'm like, no, she did not just pull up and this was before Oprah was Oprah now, by the way. So that's why it was a very richest piece. I would say her. Oh man, it's so hard because again, I looked at so many voices as far as in broadcast. I mean, Joe Madison, Larry King, wow. Tavis Smiley.
So they all really influenced you.
Oh, absolutely, because everybody had a different style. Like I was confused on how should I say like, hello, this is Arrington, or should I say like, okay, let me relax a little bit. Don't have to copycat somebody. Be your own person. So I just always kind of will visualize different figures and like, okay, let me incorporate a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and have a different tone. So it's so many. That's a hard one.
And it winds up being you, though. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
So what's the hardest thing about being a Black entrepreneur today?
I would say, and it's people taking you serious. And the sad thing is, it's not just from folks in other races. Sometimes it could be in your own community. And that's the hard part because when I first started, I had to overcome the fact I was young. So that and then they're like saying, "What does the boy know about this and that?" And then discussing something that was very rare in Hampton Roads at the time. Beard care really wasn't, beard care. What is beard care? They're like, beer? You mean drinking beer? No, beard. Your facial hair. And so that was already a step. And then on top of that, yes, I'm a Black male. So that's another thing that I have to wrestle with. And I've had moments where I would, have meetings with retailers on having my products in. That was, the opposite race. And you can tell they were kindly saying, yeah, right, this is, whatever. And I never got the call back. I never got the call back. And we've been fortunate. We have a huge support system from the Black community. We had we were featured in Essence Magazine twice in December of 2018. We were on their holiday gift guide for their print as well as in their top 5 holiday gifts for men on their online.
Oh, congratulations!
And that was just one of many publications that brought us on there, and then they reached out to us, and that was a very, very huge honor. So we've been blessed and fortunate. And again, I try not to let that always stop me because. I know Denzel Washington said, you fall down 7 times, get up 8. There's the analogy of the car having the windshield this big, but those small view mirrors, you don't want to look behind. So I just keep moving forward and like, hey, God he has a plan for me. It's all a part of his, his works.
So tell me about your childhood, because clearly you've had really positive guidance in terms of giving you the confidence to be able to go and do all of these things.
My childhood was great. I was only child. My mother is still is a real estate broker going on 37 years. My father, he's a retired firefighter, Norfolk firefighter, and he's been teaching at Votech for about 15 years, firefighting, search and rescue. So they both taught me so much. From my mother with the business sense, and just again, both of them were entrepreneurs. My mom had in the past had owned a candy store for 5 years. My dad had a cleaning business on the side too. So they taught me entrepreneurship. They taught me the power of relationships because my mother, 90% of her business is referrals. Whether it's the parents, the grandparents, it's all about communication and how you interact with folks. So they taught me so much. They taught me, hey, you're a blessed kid, but you still got to work. So, summertime I'm thinking, I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do. My mom woke me up, you got to cut this grass. You got to do so. They taught me a lot. My dad got me involved in sports. I was very, very blessed. I had best friends that I've still known since 4 years old, that we still are very, very tight. Yeah. I was in private school all my life. My parents sacrificed to put me through private school because private school is not easy, putting the kid from elementary all the way to through high school. And I was very, very fortunate. Actually, I had a learning disability, which my mother called a learning curve. So I used, as a kid, I used to have my moments where I was very, very just like sad, just because I'm like, okay, if I don't succeed through my schooling, is there a place for me out there in life? But again, with the power of great parents all in the support system, keeping me motivated, that never stopped me from there. And now, I serve on the board where I that works with students with learning disabilities. So it's all full circle moments. So I can't say anything bad about my childhood at all. Again, it's hard being the guest.
Do you know? But it's interesting because unfortunately in media, particularly when it comes to talking about Black men, it's always Black men in handcuffs. It's always something negative that's going on and so forth. Is it important to you through your show and through your entrepreneurial and philanthropic work that you show another view of the Black male in this country? Absolutely.
My goal every day is changing the narrative. Always through my businesses, especially through my show. What they see is not the norm. Okay, that's nothing that you be. Oh yeah, they're known for. No, that's not. You have to always find the root of issues, and that's where I have fun on my program, where I bring on folks that can help share. Let's talk about the root. How can we prevent things from occurring? And so it's unfortunate that that's the society that we live in, and it's sad that is that goes on in certain media lenses, but it's absolutely it's false narrative. I mean, it's just it's like when they always say, well, you don't want to get a Black woman upset. They're no, hold up. And it's just it's unfortunate that's even exists. I mean, it's silly stuff in my opinion, but I've interacted with so many very accomplished people of color, men, women, and we have so many here in the Hampton Roads area. But I try my best, and I hope I'm doing good by what happens through me is setting an example for young people, or just I'm not trying to be a leader, but I hope that my actions can help lead example.
Why don't you want to be a leader? You don't think you're a leader?
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. That's stress. I don't want to.
But you don't think that young kids watch you and look to you in terms of, especially when you're doing the foundation work, for example, and so forth, because children watch adults, and that's where they get their idea for how life can be.
I mean, I'm sure they're probably looking. I mean, again, growing up from good parents, I try to always be on my best behavior because Mama still got that quick hands if I act right. No, I'm joking. But I don't want to look. I don't want to disrespect my parents in any way. Through my actions. So I'm always that's just my everyday life. I'm always gonna be a gentleman to my wife. Gotta be a provider, protector, anything. A good husband. I'll always be a great son in all capacities I can to my mother and my father, and so, or a great friend. But I try not to always have the mindset of people are always looking. Just because I just I don't. I'm Arrington Gavin. I'm a nobody. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm a kid from Hampton Roads, from Chesapeake. I like to talk, and I
and you
love
like to
people.
Care for other people.
Yes, yeah. I'm a huge people person. I'm a social butterfly. I love people, and that's just me. But if they are watching and hopefully learn something, I mean, that's a blessing too. But I'm like, thank my parents. Don't thank me. Thank my parents.
Is there a Oh, we got a phone call. Oh. Let's talk to Francis in Yorktown. Hi, Francis. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the program.
Thank you.
And, congratulations on your success in all these various areas.
Oh, thank you so much.
What's your question?
Well, I would like to know more about Revolve imagery. How do you access it? Who would be the people who might use it? things of that kind.
Absolutely. So, well, right now we have our website continuing in construction, but you can actually just Google Evolve Imagery. It will share our contact information from there. Our number is 757. Hold on, let me grab my phone because I got so many things I got to try to remember. Hold tight there, Francis. It is 757-955. 0656, or you can also email us at info@j-arrington.com for more information. We're located in Chesapeake, Virginia, and feel free if you reach us a call or contact through there if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you so much for the call, Francis. We appreciate it. Now people want to call when we only got 10 minutes left. but that's a good thing. Does faith play a role in your life?
Absolutely.
What is that?
It is, I mean, the oxygen that goes through my lungs, waking up, being a kid that has a roof over his head, clothes on our backs, a wife, my best friend, everything. This couldn't happen without God. I mean, I was raised in a very faith-based family, went to private Christian schools. The university I went to background was, Christian oriented. And I've always relied on my faith in a lot of situations, because being an entrepreneur and being a business owner is a very stressful. I mean, you know that you have your own business yourself. It's extremely stressful because first you're like, okay, are people going to accept me? Are they going to enjoy this product? If I get a bad review, oh my gosh, at the end. And so we've been fortunate. Out of the 7 years we've been in existence, we've had maybe like one bad thing that happened, and we're grateful for that. And but so yes, faith is truly a huge point.
Let's see if we can get one more call in. Greg joins us from Norfolk. Hi, Greg. You're on the air.
Hey, hello. Great show. I actually had to tune in late today. I wish I'd heard the whole thing.
That's okay. You can go online, whro.org.
That's right.
It'll be there.
That's true. I need to start doing that. You're right, because I get so mad. I'm so old school. Like, I missed part of it. But I have a two-part question. One, is there a lot of expense? And two, I believe we're kind of a kindred spirit because I love to talk. I would like to start my own podcast. Can I do it on a shoestring budget, or am I going to have to invest in good mics and so forth? No,
you can do it on a shoestring budget. There's two platforms. If I can mention it, you have StreamYard, and then you have Riverside FM. Now, personally, I recommend a StreamYard because it's very user-friendly. They have a free platform. They have a couple of other paid platforms. Now, as far as for mics, start off very inexpensive. You don't need to get the most expensive one. That's one thing. I started off trying to do a video podcast. Boy, was that was a bad idea, because you're talking about an arm and a leg. But start off, you can go on Amazon. You can find different mics. You don't have to get the most expensive one. Sometimes you can record on your phone, Greg. I mean, you can. It's very simple from there. And then when you start getting very comfortable, there are mics that are pretty expensive. I mean, I'm talking over $200, $300. It's pretty pricey. But you can start off either just doing audio only, or if you want to do audio and visual. But there are inexpensive platforms. So StreamYard is a great one. That is STREAM Yard, all one word. You can look that up. They have a free platform where you can start from there. And as far as for mics are concerned, there's so many great ones. Now, MV Shore is a great brand, but again, it can be a little pricey. So you can kind of look that up from there.
Good luck to you, Greg. Let us know if you start your own podcast. Okay.
Absolutely.
Love to be a guest.
All right. You take care.
I'll catch up with your show.
Okay. Thanks so much for the call. We appreciate that. So we got about 5 minutes left. If you, as for anyone who's out there who has this yearning inside to become an entrepreneur, what's some advice you would give them?
Put it on paper first. Please do not rush to things, because I come across a lot of folks that I know that will start a business and automatically, let me quit my job because I already know it's going to be successful. No. It's a patience thing. So put it on paper first. See how much it will cost. Check out the market, whatever avenue you're doing, if it will be profitable. But just always be never rush into stuff. Don't skip over certain steps, and then if you hit a wall and they're like, wow, what do I do? Well, you gotta. So please don't rush. Be a great listener. don't think you know everything, because you know you don't. I know I'm always going to be a student. So have an open ear, listen, build great relationships. Do not focus on the transaction, focus on the relationships, because loyalty and relationships take you far long of a way than just a transaction.
Pay attention to your taxes.
Yes, Lord,
and get
please.
the right license.
That's right. Yes, you have. Yes, I mean you have.
I mean, honestly, because people sometimes they get so involved in the thing that they do, but there is a business
you have
it.
incorporation. Yeah. Incorporation, I think, helps you statewide, and then becoming trademark is nationwide. So make sure you look into that and have the funds to at least get that. But it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's not easy at all. A lot of folks will tell you that our business owners will be like, I don't recommend it for anybody. Like it's not fun at all. It's not fun. Especially if you're working for yourself, like, trust me, it is very stressful, and it's
well,
a lot.
The thing is, people think that because I've heard people say, well, I can work from home and I can work in my pajamas, and you have to be so disciplined when you work from home, do you not?
Absolutely. First of all, home is the easy place to just say, let me just lay on this couch for a few more minutes, so let me just lay there. No, get out the house. Get out the house. Trust me, get out the house.
Or if you can't, you have to get up. Like during COVID, I would purposely get up, and my desk became in another room, so that was going to the office. I mean, you really have to do that psychologically.
COVID was a blessing and a curse to people. So it's a way of maneuvering, because the times will always change each and every day. So get in touch with what the current times are going.
Okay, tell me about Carter.
Carter is our baby. He is our four-legged Cavachon. He's 3 years old. He turned 3 last December. Yes, he is our fur baby. He's named after Chris Tucker's character on Rush Hour. Rush Hour is one of my wife's favorite movie series. So Carter, Detective Carter, that's why.
And whose is Carter? I mean, I know it's both of you, but
I try to push him more to my wife, but he loves me more. He's really a daddy's dog. But sometimes when he get one, I'm like, go to your mama, go to your mama. He bugs. Lord have mercy. He's always on my hip leg 24/7. Yeah, he loves his daddy.
Oh gosh! So who do you have coming up on any of your shows? Anybody you want to promote?
So I'm actually, I'm actually later today. I'm doing 2 recordings. I usually do one. I'm doing 2 recordings. I'm interviewing Memphis City Councilwoman Jerry Green. She's running for governor in the state of Tennessee. And then later on, I'm interviewing Miss Amanda Nelson. For those that are into a lot of political influencers, she's known as Amanda's Mild Takes. Very, very popular on the digital space. So I'm interviewing those 2 figures. And if it's okay if I have a little time, I'd like to mention an event that I'm having on Mother's the day before Mother's Day. I believe that's May 6th. It's kind of far, but I'm doing our 3rd annual Toast to Moms, where we praise the mothers in Hampton Roads. All proceeds go towards the Revolution Foundation. We're going to have great music, fun, and we're going to have a mutual friend of ours, a good friend, Miss Allison Moore, Virginia's comedian, will be hitting the stage, providing the laugh. So I just wanted to mention that, and we'll be having ticket sales for that very shortly. So just follow the Revolution Foundation for more information.
Okay, and speaking of that, tell people where they can find each of your entities.
Okay, so ruggedEvo.com, RUGGEDEVO.com, for if you want some great men's grooming products, from beard care, exfoliating soaps, cleansers. We have it, and we're located in Chesapeake, Virginia, Live Oak Drive, Unit 10. And then if you would like to check out Evolve Imagery, be sure to get in touch with that. And then also check out my show, The Arrington Gavin Show, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
What a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being with me.
It's been an honor.
I appreciate that. Yes, it has. And audience, we hope that you've enjoyed this edition of Another View. Now, you can listen to this show again or any of our broadcasts at WHRO.org, on Spotify, or wherever you go for your podcast listening pleasure. Next week on Another View, Black journalists arrested for covering ICE protests in Minneapolis. What this means for journalism during the Trump administration. Our theme music is an original composition created especially for Another View by Jay Sennett. Lisa Godley is our show producer. Jordan Christie is our audio engineer, and Dr. Barry Graham answered our phones. I'm Barbara Ham Lee. Before we go, happy birthday, Maxie Lee from the Another View crew. Yeah, y'all, that's my hubby. Happy birthday, honey. Be sure to join us next Thursday at noon for Another View.
Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, carrying out your charitable wishes forever, whether it's helping shelter animals, feeding the homeless, enhancing the arts, or supporting students. Learn more at leaveabequest.org.